Well, hello everyone, welcome to another very exciting episode right here on the My Gardener channel. I am really pumped for this episode because I wanted to show you all the update on our permaculture compost pile. Now this is something that we've definitely been pretty quiet about because it's just been kind of a fun little side project, but it's really turned into something that I think is worth showing you. Now we've done a lot of pictures and updates on our Facebook page because that's what we do over on Facebook. We just kind of share quick updates, a little random things around the garden. And so if you're not yet following us over there, make sure to check us out over there and hit us up and say hi because we absolutely love people that follow us on all of our social media streams because there's something different for all of them. So over there a few months ago, we shared our compost pile that had some seedlings sprouting, and that's what led to the video, Why I Love Volunteer Plants, which is a video I recommend checking out because it does go into detail about why volunteer plants are so awesome. But I want to step further. I wanted to see what happened if I let my volunteer plants continue growing in the same location, in our original location, which was our compost pile. And so I am absolutely stoked with the results that I'm seeing. And I think it's worthwhile showing you all because as a gardener myself, I'm always trying new things, just experimenting, seeing what happens. And it doesn't mean that I'm going to convert my entire garden to this compost pile permaculture method, but it's definitely a method that is worthwhile showing you all because I firmly believe that gardening, as I've said before, is not a one-size-fits-all solution. And I want to show you this method because there might be someone out there, maybe even you, that can use this method for your entire garden, or maybe just implement it in small ways around your garden that you can take from and learn from to better your gardening, you better your gardening resume, like I like to say. So the more you know about things, the better your garden is going to be. And so this gardening method that I'm kind of implementing back here in this tiny little area is going so well. And so I figured, why not show it, right? So let's go. Let's check out what's going on. So you can see here lots of different tomatoes of all different sorts, and they're growing up through the mess of pumpkins here. But you can see just beautiful flowers everywhere, lots and lots of gorgeous flowers coming in. And like I said, there's bound to be some zucchini in here. There's bound to be some cucumbers in here, as well as some pumpkins, most likely. We have a few peppers sprouting. We even have some cantaloupe. This is definitely a cantaloupe. We threw a few cantaloupes in here, and like I said, some cucumbers are definitely sprouting up. You can see there. And then also down here, we even have some nasturtiums. Check it out. We have some nasturtiums rocking and rolling. And all of this is growing in our compost bin. So this right here was our partially finished compost pile. This was stuff from last year that was not completely broken down yet, but was almost broken down. And this is in just a 4x4 compost corral. Coming over here, you can see the unfinished stuff from this year. So this is the stuff that we're just getting ready to compost now, and is already kind of starting. This stuff is mostly finished, with the exception of a few, outer kind of outer rim stuff that hasn't been flipped in and rotated very frequently. That stuff is still pretty unbroken down, but you can come in here and check this out and look, I mean, this stuff is just absolutely beautiful in here. And you pick it up and this stuff is gorgeous. I mean, it's breaking down, it's fertile. So this stuff really could be used on the garden if we needed to, but because this permaculture compost pile is doing so well, I just said, why not leave it? So we saw how well this method is working as a whole. Now I want to break it down into little tiny tidbits of things that you can take and implement in your garden. The first thing is crowding. Okay, crowding. Why are the plants not smothering each other out? And the answer is because there's enough nutrients in fertility in this bed to justify that much life. I've always said that there is a direct correlation to the amount of life that can be hosted in a specific environment. If you take all these plants here and you put them in a normal soil that's void of nutrients, there will be obviously crowding because they're competing for that soil space, they're competing for those nutrients, and therefore they are crowding themselves out trying to compete for those limited resources. But in an environment where the resources are, I mean, obviously limited, yes, over time, but for this season, there's so much organic matter here that the resources are relatively unlimited. And they're all doing fine. I mean, you're looking at green plants everywhere that are thriving. Every single plant in here is thriving. There's no nutrient deficiencies. And that means that they can all grow and they can all coexist in the same space. You see the tomatoes are growing up taller, even though the pumpkin plants are sprawling and their leaves are large. The tomato plants are growing up through them and they're doing fine as well. Same thing with the kind of understory of the nasturtiums and some of the cucumbers. They're still doing fine as well. There's enough nutrients and there's enough sun that they can all live and live peacefully. And this is what I like to talk about in our high intensity gardening methods in the garden, is that when you have really fertile soil, the plants will do well because you can cram them closer together due to the fact you have higher fertility in your soil. The next question I want to analyze is, where are they getting their water from? Because we've never actually watered these, they have to be getting moisture from somewhere to survive. And we've had days in the 90s, we've even had a day that reached 102 degrees, and these plants are thriving. Now the question is, why? Why are they thriving? Or I guess, how are they thriving with no water or no supplemental water? And I want to go back to our method called core gardening. Core gardening is a method that we've been implementing for many years in our garden, which takes very fast breaking down material, very fast degrading material, and we put that into a trench, and then we cover that with soil, and then we plant on top of it. And the organic matter that we put into that trench holds onto water like a sponge. This is a massive core here, folks. Organic matter is nature's sponge. It will hold on to moisture and it will retain it. And that means on hot days, the moisture stays in. On days where there's lots of wind, the moisture stays in. If you do not have organic matter, wind and sun as well as heat will take the water away due to evaporation. But in a rich organic matter environment, the water is retained within the cell structure of the organic matter that the plants can tap into at a later time. That means that for the months that these plants have been growing, about 2 or 3 months now these plants have been growing here, they are doing fine without any water at all, because deep down inside, because even though it did just rain a couple days ago, deep down inside that bed, there's still moisture that their roots can tap into. So I am really excited about this, and I can't wait to see how well it does in the future. I'll definitely keep you all posted, but I really do hope that you learned something from this episode. I hope that you implement either the method as a whole or portions of it in your garden. And we've done lots of videos talking about the specific components that I spoke about and touched on in this episode here that you can implement in your garden. Things like core gardening and things like the benefits of having organic matter in your soil, or high intensity gardening, things like that. I have talked about that in depth because I really do believe in those methods, and I believe in those components that bring a gardener kind of back to the basics of what plants really need and what makes them thrive, and how to work less and harvest more in your garden. And so I really do hope that you have enjoyed. I hope that you learned something new. If you did, make sure to give this video a huge thumbs up. That always helps us out, and it helps spread our video around to more people that could use this information and love this information. So I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you learned something new. As always, this is Luke from the My Gardener channel, reminding you to grow big or go home. We'll catch you all later. See ya. Bye.